Right. Well, the tool really came about from working with various leaders around the state of Kansas to start with, and we were working in a leadership academy, and within the academy, we started to focus on the things that are the cutting edge, the things that are out there that seem to be missing. And what really happened was a friend of mine, a colleague, Larry Willis, gave me an article by James Spillane, Dr. James Spillane out of Northwestern University, which probably is the founding guru of distributed leadership, and still is, because his research is just constantly on that edge. And within that, we read it, and it was that missing link. And it's really the missing link, because what we talk about as leaders constantly is who and what. Who's involved and what do they do? And we don't really talk about how they do it. And that was the missing link. And so distributed leadership and the Distributed Leadership Toolbox was formed from that, and the idea of trying to give a foundation for how leaders go about their practices, the lived reality of what they do. Because sometimes we live by philosophies and theories, but we don't necessarily know. We do it unconsciously, or we do it consciously, but not really aware of its impact and influence. And so the Distributed Leadership Toolbox came about from identifying how, and it was that missing link. And what I did was through the sharing with school administrators and leadership teams in schools, they started to ask, well, how do you know that? How do we go about analyzing that? How do we go about designing new practices? And so tools started to be created for me to interact, which is the very foundation of distributed leadership, is that interactions between leaders, followers, and the situation. And in this particular situation, they were needing something to mediate our conversations. And the tools were created, and from that, they started to use them on a regular basis. And so the book was really about helping other leaders, whether they're at the Leadership Academy or across the nation, an opportunity to be able to mediate the very same kind of conversations that I was having with these leaders. Well, you start the foundation within some basic research to be able to say, here's where we are as a nation, as leaders. Here's how this positions the distributed perspectives a little different than the rest, but how it still relates to everything you're doing. I mean, it's by no means is this something that you're not already aware of. It just now brings it to a conscious level for you.